Vivian Cross made Maya Ellison kneel in the middle of her father's house. Not the house Vivian had built. Not the house she had earned. The house Maya's father had designed 23 years ago, before the marble floors, before the Ocean View Ballroom, before the Cross family removed the Ellison name from the gate and replaced it with their own. Now it was called Crosshaven Resort. Maya wore a gray maid's uniform, a service tray on the floor beside her, and a hidden microphone beneath her left cuff. Bianca Hartwell's white wedding gown spread across the marble in front of her, stained with red wine. "Careful," Bianca said, lifting the hem with 2 fingers. "That dress costs more than your father ever left you." A few guests smiled. Not loudly, just enough to show they understood. Vivian stepped closer, champagne glass balanced in one hand. "Use both hands, Maya," she said. "Your father was careless with documents. Let's hope his daughter is better with fabric." Maya pressed the cloth against the wine stain. Her face stayed still. Only her eyes moved. Past Bianca's shoes. Past Vivian's reflection in the polished floor. Past the staircase where Maya had once tied blue ribbons for her mother's birthday. To the corner of the signing table, where a leather folder sat open for only a few seconds. Hartwell Acquisition. Final closing 5 p.m. Property archive transfer 4:30 p.m. Maya lowered her head before anyone saw her reading. And for the first time that morning, the insult helped her more than it hurt. Bianca sighed. "Honestly, Vivian, I don't know how you stand having her here. Isn't it strange? The girl who used to live upstairs cleaning after my wedding guests?" Vivian's smile was small and controlled. "I believe in charity," she said, "even for families ruined by their own disgrace." The word disgrace touched the room before it touched Maya. It had followed her for 15 years. Through news articles, court records, school hallways, and every form that carried her father's name. Thomas Ellison, the man accused of forging a deed page and stealing from the company he had built. Maya folded the wine cloth once, then twice. She had learned long ago that shame became weaker when you stopped answering it. "Stand," Bianca said. "And don't drip wine on the train." Maya rose, picked up the tray, and lowered her eyes exactly the way Vivian liked. "You should be grateful I let you work today," Vivian murmured. "Some women would never allow the daughter of a thief back through the front doors." "Yes, Mrs. Cross," Maya said. Vivian heard obedience. Lena Ortiz, listening through the transmitter, heard control. Maya carried the tray through the ballroom doors and into the service corridor. Only then did she breathe once. "Maya," Lena whispered in her earpiece. "Report. Closing confirmed," Maya said. 5 p.m. Hartwell Acquisition. Archive transfer at 4:30. That transfer was not in the public filing. No. It was in Vivian's folder. "Did she notice you read it?" "No." "Good. Stay inside. Caleb is checking exterior feeds. Daniel still needs a stronger link to the old deed file before he can move on preservation." Maya turned toward the east wing. The house had been renovated so completely that guests called it flawless. Maya knew better. The hallway still sloped near the linen closet. The second-floor window still faced the sea at the angle her mother had loved. The east wing still held the private office where her father kept his blueprints. Small truths stayed, even when rich people painted over them. Vivian had approved Maya's hiring personally. She knew exactly who Maya was. She knew Maya had once lived in the upstairs bedroom. She knew Thomas Ellison had died with his name ruined. That was why she wanted Maya in uniform for the wedding. It was not mercy. It was a trophy. What Vivian did not know was that Maya Ellison had come back as Detective Maya Ellison, working undercover inside a property fraud investigation that had finally reached Crosshaven Resort. 3 disputed acquisitions. The same legal signatures. The same missing pages. The same Hartwell money appearing just before closing. And at the center of the oldest file, her father's case. Maya reached the bridal suite with a stack of towels in her arms. The room had once been hers. Now it was filled with garment bags, makeup cases, pearl pins, flowers, and Bianca's perfume. Near the vanity, An open diamond ring box sat beside a powder brush and lipstick. The ring was still inside, so it had not been lost yet. Maya placed the towels on a chair without changing the angle of the box. One bridesmaid pointed toward the bathroom. In there too. And don't touch the jewelry. Maya moved past the mirror. In its reflection, she saw the ring box, the vanity, the hallway, and Vivian Cross standing at the doorway. "I hope this room doesn't trouble you," Vivian said. "Memory can be painful when people mistake it for ownership." The bridesmaids went quiet, waiting for the answer. Maya gathered used towels from the bathroom floor. "It's a room," she said. Vivian stepped inside. "No, it's a lesson." She lowered her voice. "Your father never understood that papers matter more than sentiment. He signed what he signed. He lost what he lost. And now you are here, cleaning for the family that knew how to keep it." Maya felt the brass key hidden beneath her cuff. Her father had given it to her the night before he was arrested. Not with an explanation, only with shaking hands and one sentence. "If anyone ever tells you page 7 didn't matter, they're lying." For 15 years, Maya had not known what page 7 meant. Now Vivian was selling the house before anyone could ask. On the vanity, under Bianca's printed wedding schedule, Maya saw a handwritten line. "Archive crew access through East Service door at 4:30. VC approval only." She memorized it. Then she lowered her head. "Yes, Mrs. Cross." Vivian watched her, searching for anger. Maya gave her none. Because the microphone was live. Because every second Vivian mistook silence for defeat, Maya stayed inside the room where the truth had once been buried. Downstairs, the quartet began another wedding song. At 4:30, the archive would move. At 5, the Cross family would try to sell the last thing Thomas Ellison had died trying to protect. Maya carried the towels into the hall. They had brought her back to Ellison House to make her small. They had forgotten small things could fit through locked doors. Vivian stood behind the desk, signing place cards for the private reception. Adrian Cross leaned by the window, already dressed for the ceremony, his cufflinks bright against his black sleeves. "My mother says you asked to work the wedding," Adrian said. Maya placed the tray on the sideboard. "Housekeeping assigned me." "Still, you could have declined. I go where I'm scheduled." Vivian smiled. "A useful lesson your father never learned. Schedules, deadlines, signatures. Adults respect them." Maya wiped the rim of the first tumbler. On the desk, beneath Vivian's left hand, lay a white folder marked vendor coordination. The tab looked harmless. The paper inside did not. Maya caught pieces as Vivian lifted a place card. "Archive crew arrival 4:30. East Service door only. Boxes a 17 through a 24. No staff access after sealing. Driver manifest to be replaced after loading." Maya moved to the second glass. Her earpiece gave one soft click. Caleb was on the channel now. Adrian pushed away from the window. "Are we really moving the old records today?" Vivian's gaze snapped to him. "The records are being reorganized." "On my wedding day?" "Especially today. After 5 o'clock, Hartwell's auditors will have their own process. I prefer not to leave family history in unfamiliar hands." Adrian lowered his voice. "If the Ellison file is still in there." Vivian set the pen down. His mouth closed. Vivian turned toward Maya. "The lower shelves." A command dressed as housekeeping. Maya crossed to the bookcase and knelt. The angle gave her a view under the desk. Between Vivian's ivory heels and Adrian's polished shoes sat a small metal wastebasket. Inside it was a torn strip of paper with 3 visible words. "Page 7 duplicate." Maya did not reach for it. Not yet. She cleaned the lower shelf. Slow enough to read the room, fast enough not to look curious. Vivian resumed speaking to Adrian. "Your bride's family is paying for certainty. We provide it. That is why this property survived after Thomas nearly buried it." "People still talk," Adrian said. "People talk until money teaches them new words." Vivian came around the desk. Maya stayed kneeling while Vivian stopped beside her. "I considered refusing your application," Vivian said. Maya looked up. "Did you?" Yes. Then I thought perhaps it would be good for you to see what became of this place after competent hands took over. Adrian looked uncomfortable, but not ashamed enough to speak. Vivian continued. Your family had land. We built a legacy. There is a difference. Maya held the cloth in both hands. There is, she said. Vivian studied her. For half a second, suspicion sharpened her eyes. Then a knock came at the door. A security attendant stepped in. Mrs. Cross, the first archive van is at the east gate. Early. Vivian's jaw tightened. How early? About 20 minutes. Vivian glanced at Adrian. Go downstairs. Smile. Say nothing about records. Adrian left without looking at Maya. Vivian waited until the door closed, then leaned down. Since you are so eager to work, she said, you can help seal the storage corridor after the crew finishes. Not many daughters get to sweep out the last dust of their father's failure. Maya lowered her eyes. Understood, Mrs. Cross. Vivian walked out with the white folder tucked under her arm. The moment her footsteps faded, Maya moved. She crossed to the wastebasket, lifted the torn strip with the edge of her cloth, and pressed it flat against the tray. Page 7 duplicate bridal suite safe. Not archive. Not the office. The duplicate was inside Maya's old bedroom. She covered the strip with a folded napkin, picked up the tray, and stepped into the corridor. Lena, she whispered. I'm here. They moved the van early. Track East Gate now. And page 7 is not in the archive. A beat. Where is it? Maya looked toward the bridal suite doors, where white flowers curled around the frame. In my old room. The scream came from the bridal suite at 1:41 p.m. My ring, Bianca Hartwell cried. My ring is gone. Maya was 3 doors away, carrying the tray from Vivian's office with the folded napkin still covering the torn strip of paper. Page 7. A bridesmaid rushed into the hall. Security. Somebody get security. Maya stepped toward the linen closet, but Vivian's voice stopped her. Maya. Vivian stood at the bridal suite entrance, one hand resting on the doorframe as if she owned not only the room, but every breath inside it. Come here. Maya turned. Guests had begun gathering near the staircase. Wedding staff froze with trays in their hands. 2 security guards moved in from the West Hall. Bianca stood near the vanity, her face flushed, her empty ring box open in her palm. I left it right here, she said. Right here. And she was the last person near it. Every eye found Maya. Vivian did not look surprised. That was the first useful detail. Maya entered the room and let her gaze pass once over the vanity. Powder brush. Lipstick. Ring box. Tissue. A faint dusting of champagne-colored makeup along the inner edge of the box. Different from the white setting powder scattered across the table. Bianca's thumb carried the same shimmer. Maya kept her hands visible. I did not touch the ring. Bianca laughed once, bright and ugly. Of course you didn't. Adrian appeared behind his mother, already pale with irritation, not fear. What's going on? What your mother warned us about, Bianca snapped. We let nostalgia into the house, and it stole from us. No one is accusing anyone without cause. Then she looked at Maya. But given your family's history, you understand why we have to be careful. A security guard shifted. Mrs. Cross, should we call local police? Vivian answered too quickly. Not yet. We will handle this quietly if Maya cooperates. Maya lifted her tray slightly. You can check the tray. Bianca pointed at her. Her pockets too. Her apron. Her sleeves. Maya felt the brass key against her wrist. If they searched her sleeve, the key would surface. Vivian already suspected it mattered. If the key disappeared now, the safe behind the bridal suite might as well be a locked grave. Lena's voice came through the earpiece, low and controlled. Do not let them take the key. Maya set the tray on the vanity. Search my apron first, she said. He checked the apron pockets. A service pen. 2 folded place cards. A lint cloth. Nothing. Bianca crossed her arms. Sleeves. Maya turned toward the bride. You said I was the last person near the ring. You were. Then you must have seen where I stood. Bianca blinked. What? Maya nodded toward the vanity mirror. I never crossed to that side of the table. The ring box was on your left. Maya, she said softly, do not make this uglier for yourself. Outside the suite, someone whispered. Maybe she really took it. Another voice answered. Her father stole papers, didn't he? Bianca recovered. Fine. If she's so innocent, search the sleeves. The guard reached for Maya's left arm. Maya let him take the wrist, then turned her body as if embarrassed, angling the cuff away from Vivian and toward the open doorway. With her right hand, she knocked over the powder brush. A pale cloud spilled across the vanity. The bridesmaids gasped. Kalam si. Bianca hissed. Maya bent to pick it up and pressed her thumb twice against the underside of the tray. The transmitter clicked. Caleb would know the signal. Bridal suite camera, urgent. The guard checked the outer cuff, but did not peel back the inner seam. The brass key stayed hidden. No ring, he said. Bianca's face tightened. Then she hid it somewhere. Vivian made her decision. Maya will be removed from guest-facing duties, she said. Until we resolve this, she will assist in back corridor cleanup only. Maya picked up the tray. The folded napkin stayed in place. As she turned, she saw it. Not the ring. A single white rose in the tall arrangement beside the balcony had been pushed deeper than the others. Its stem was bent. Beneath the petals, something caught the light. Diamond? Maya did not look again. She walked out past the guests who had already decided what kind of woman she was. In the service hallway, Caleb's voice came through her earpiece. I have the footage. Maya kept walking. Tell me. Bianca took the ring from the box at 1:37. Vivian watched. Bianca put it in the balcony flowers 30 seconds before she screamed. Maya's grip tightened around the tray. Lena came on next. We can clear you now. No, Maya said. She looked down at the folded napkin hiding the torn strip from Vivian's office. Not yet. Lena understood before Maya explained. If they used the ring footage now, they would win a small lie and lose the bigger one. Maya looked back toward the bridal suite doors. They planted the ring to move me away from the safe, she said. So the safe is where I need to go. Back corridor cleanup was supposed to be punishment. For Maya, it was access. A junior event manager shoved a cart of folded linens toward her and pointed down the service hall. Storage corridor. Mrs. Cross wants everything clear before the archive crew seals it. Maya took the cart without answering. Two movers in Navy uniforms were already stacking gray document boxes near the East Service exit. Maya parked the cart beside a laundry bin and bent to pick up a dropped towel. The motion gave her a clean view of the boxes. A 21 carried a red sticker, Ellison transfer file. Caleb, she murmured. I see the van at East Gate, he answered. Plate is registered to a catering supplier, not a records company. Manifest replacement confirmed. Box A21 is marked Ellison transfer file. One mover turned. Maya straightened and pushed the cart toward the archive corridor. Maya let the cart roll slowly between the shelves. The torn strip from Vivian's office had already told her where the duplicate was. She needed the path to the safe. On the far wall, behind broken binders, Maya saw an old maintenance cabinet. The paint around the handle was scratched in a half-moon pattern. A mover shouted from the hall. Hey! You supposed to be in there? Maya lifted a bundle of towels. Mrs. Cross said clear the storage corridor. Not the shelves. I was looking for the laundry chute. Maya slid the brass key into the cabinet. Then she noticed a smaller keyhole under the handle, nearly hidden by paint. She angled the key down. This time, the lock gave. The cabinet opened no wider than her palm. Inside were old repair tags, rusted screws, and a flat envelope taped beneath the top shelf. A photograph torn in half. Her father stood in front of Ellison House. Younger than Maya remembered him. Beside him was her mother, smiling into ocean wind. On the torn edge, half of another person's hand remained, wearing a pearl bracelet Maya had seen on Vivian that morning. Behind the photo was a yellow maintenance slip. Safe service request East Bedroom Wall Unit. Requested by T. Ellison. Date: April 16. Technician, R. Vale. Note, lower mechanical compartment sticking. Duplicate document envelope remains inside until partnership dispute resolved. Safe existed before Crosshaven renovation. East bedroom wall unit. Lower mechanical compartment. My father requested service 3 days before the arrest. A sound came from the hall. Vivian's voice. Those boxes go directly to the van. No one opens them here. Maya closed the cabinet and pushed it shut. The hinge squealed. The voices outside stopped. Maya grabbed towels and moved to the laundry chute just as Vivian appeared at the archive entrance with a security guard. I thought you were assigned to clean up. Then why are you in the archive? The event manager said storage corridor. I thought this was included. You think innocence makes you clever? Vivian said quietly. Maya lifted another towel. I think work should be finished before guests see the service hall. Vivian stared at her long enough to make the guard uncomfortable. Then she pointed to the cart. Take that to the West Laundry. After that, you stay where staff can see you. Maya nodded once and pushed the cart past her. At the doorway, she let the wheel catch on the threshold. The cart jolted. A stack of linens slid sideways and brushed box A21. A label peeled at one corner. Under the printed sticker was an older handwritten mark. Azaven. Ellison, 7. Maya kept moving. In the corridor, the movers lifted the box onto a dolly and rolled it toward the east service door. The safe held the duplicate. The van held the original trail. Maya touched the transmitter beneath the tray cloth. Caleb, she said, voice almost lost under the wheels of the cart. Do not lose that van. Maya, Caleb said through the earpiece. The van left the east gate. Direction? South Service Road. Not the records warehouse. It's heading toward the private marina. Maya pushed a cart of linens toward the industrial washer. Vivian has a boat ready? Crosshaven has a white tender registered under a shell company. Dock camera shows staff loading coolers. Lena came on next. I'm sending Daniel the plate and dock feed. But we need a direct connection between the old Ellison file and current fraud before he can get the emergency hold signed. Maya looked up as applause rolled over the ceiling. Then we build it. Lena added the larger pattern. Hartwell Capital had bought 3 distressed coastal properties with disputed transfer histories, the same outside counsel, and the same missing supplemental pages. Maya stopped moving. Page 7? Different page numbers. Same trick. A missing page, a rushed settlement, then luxury redevelopment before the old claimants could reopen anything. A voice snapped from the doorway. You. I need my veil steamed again, Bianca said. And since you apparently can't be trusted near jewelry, you can do it where I can watch you. Maya took the veil from a bridesmaid and draped it over the steaming board. Bianca stepped closer. I know what you're doing. Maya adjusted the heat. Steaming a veil. No. Pretending you're above all this. Bianca's smile sharpened. It must be awful, watching another woman get married in your bedroom. Watching our families sign what used to be yours. Bianca continued. Vivian says your father used to give tours himself. Now his daughter handles laundry. In the mirror above the folding table, she watched Bianca's left hand move when she spoke. No ring on the finger. No panic in the hand. The diamond was still hidden, waiting to be discovered when Vivian needed it. Do you know why people believe Vivian? She asked. Because winners have records. Losers have stories. Did Vivian tell you to say that? Bianca's eyes hardened. Careful. With fabric? For the first time, one bridesmaid looked down to hide a reaction. Bianca stepped close enough for her perfume to cover the laundry soap. You were allowed back here because Vivian wanted to prove you were nothing. Don't mistake access for importance. Maya looked at the veil, then at Bianca. People do that a lot in this house. Bianca snatched the veil from her and left. Maya waited until the footsteps faded. Lena, she said. Hartwell knows the language. Records versus stories. That's not casual. I caught it, Lena replied. And Caleb pulled the bridal suite footage. We can clear the ring accusation whenever you say. Maya moved to the far sink and rinsed her hands. On the steel counter, a laundry schedule had been pinned under a magnet. At the bottom was a handwritten note: bridal suite linens to be removed before 3:30. Wall panels protected during floral reset. Do not allow housekeeping alone after reset. Maya photographed it with the lens embedded in her service pen. They're locking down the bridal suite after 3:30, she said. Lena exhaled once. Then you have less than 2 hours to reach the safe. Less, Caleb said. Dock crew just loaded box A21 onto the tender. Original trail leaving by water. Duplicate in the bridal suite. Closing at 5. The case was splitting in 2 directions, and she could only stand in one hallway at a time. Lena said, we can move on the ring now. It gets you credibility. No. Maya. If I clear myself, Vivian changes the safe, moves the duplicate, and calls the archive transfer routine. The ring is leverage for later. She's using it to isolate you. Then let her think it worked. Maya removed the torn maintenance slip from beneath the cloth wrap and photographed it next to the laundry note. 2 small pieces. One old, one new, both pointed to the same wall. Upstairs, the quartet began the processional rehearsal. Maya looked toward the service stairs leading back to the east wing. Bianca just gave me something useful, she said. What? Their belief. Winners have records. Losers have stories. She slid the pen camera into her apron. So I'm going to give them records. At 2:58 p.m., the bridal suite was almost empty. It did not give her long. The security attendant outside the door raised a hand. Mrs. Cross said no housekeeping alone. He frowned. Then his radio crackled. East Hall, need help with vendor access. The guard looked down the corridor, annoyed. Maya kept her expression blank. People trusted blankness when it wore a uniform. I'll be 2 minutes, she said. He pointed at the open door. 2. Inside, the room smelled of roses, hairspray, and ocean heat. The diamond ring still glittered inside the flowers near the balcony, hidden badly because Bianca had never expected anyone beneath her to look carefully. Maya did not touch it. Small lie first. Big lie later. She crossed to the wall behind the mirror. The repair seam from her childhood was still there, running thin and vertical through the paneling. Maya set the towels on the bed, angled the steamer toward the vanity, and slipped the brass key from beneath her cuff. Her father's key did not fit the visible lock. She expected that now. Something clicked low inside the wall. Then training took over. She photographed the envelope in place with the service pen. She photographed the compartment. She photographed the old label on the wax paper. T.E. Private copy page 7 and related signatures. Only then did she remove it. The paper inside was thinner than she expected. Old. Cream-colored. Folded once. Maya's vision narrowed, then cleared. There were 2 signature lines near the bottom. Thomas Ellison. Marian Ellison. Her mother. Maya read the clause twice, because the first time her mind rejected the shape of it. No transfer, sale, pledge, or controlling interest assignment shall be valid without the signatures of both founding Ellison partners or a notarized death-certified waiver filed prior to execution. A waiver. There had never been one in the trial file. Her father had not stolen page 7 because it made him guilty. Someone had removed page 7 because it made the transfer impossible. Maya, Lena said. Status. Maya swallowed once. I have the duplicate. Maya did. The public deed packet shows her signature dated 2 weeks after that. Maya looked at the second signature line again. Marian Ellison. Smooth. Confident. Dead. The room tilted around the edges. Not enough to stop her, enough to remind her she was still a daughter before she was a detective. She placed the page on the vanity and photographed every corner. On the back, there was a faint imprint from another sheet. Numbers. Initials. A notary stamp. She angled the paper toward the light. R. Val. The same technician named on the maintenance slip. Not just a repairman, then a witness. Maybe the last person who had seen what Vivian tried to hide. Footsteps sounded in the corridor. Maya refolded the page, slid it into the envelope, and returned it to the compartment. Lena's voice sharpened. Why are you putting it back? Because if I take it now, Vivian knows where I went. We need the original, the van, and the closing table. Maya. I photographed it. Chain the images through Caleb now. She tapped the pen twice against the vanity. The file transmitted. The door opened. Bianca entered first, still in her robe, followed by Vivian. Maya was standing beside the mirror with the steamer in her hand. Bianca's eyes narrowed. Why are you in here again? Maya lifted the steamer cord. Water spots. Vivian's gaze went to the mirror. Then the floor. Then Maya's cuff. For the first time all day, Vivian looked less offended than alert. Leave, she said. Maya unplugged the steamer. Bianca moved toward the flowers by the balcony, perhaps to check the ring, perhaps because guilt made people visit the place where they buried small things. Vivian did not move. As Maya passed her, Vivian spoke softly enough that Bianca could not hear. You are very interested in old rooms. Maya stopped. You assigned me to clean them. Vivian's eyes hardened. Do not confuse memory with evidence. Maya met her gaze for one measured second. I don't. Then she walked out before anger could become a luxury. In the corridor, Caleb confirmed the upload. Images received. Page 7 is clear. Lena came on next. This changes the case. Maya kept walking, tray steady, uniform smooth. No, she said. It tells us what the case always was. Behind her, the bridal suite door closed. Inside the wall, the duplicate remained hidden. Outside the house, box A21 was moving toward the water. And for the first time since Thomas Ellison's arrest, page 7 had somewhere to stand. At 3:19 p.m., Vivian Cross stopped pretending the ring was the problem. Maya had barely reached the staff stairwell when the security guard from the bridal suite blocked the landing. Bianca stood near the far wall, dressed again in the repaired gown. Adrian checked his watch as if irritation could make time obey him. Vivian folded her hands. This can end quietly. Bianca scoffed. It shouldn't. It will, Vivian said. Maya will admit she mishandled personal property, return anything she removed from the bridal suite, and leave through staff entrance. We will not involve police before the ceremony. Maya let the sentence settle. They did not know police were already in the room. I didn't take the ring, Maya said. Vivian's expression stayed smooth. Then sign that you entered restricted family space without authorization. You assigned me there. Maya turned to him. Did you read it? He glanced at the paper, then away. Vivian slid a pen across the table. Your father could have avoided suffering if he had understood when a signature was the best offer he was going to get. The room narrowed around that sentence. Not because it hurt more than the others. Because Vivian had chosen it carefully. Then she smiled. Your father signed what the records say he signed. Maya heard Lena breathe once through the earpiece. Good? Vivian had not confessed, but she had stepped closer to the old file than she meant to. Bianca crossed her arms. Search her again. Properly this time. Incident statement. Forced exit before 3:30. Safe sealed. Archive gone. Closing untouched. A clean little machine. No, Maya said. Bianca laughed. Excuse me? No. Adrian stepped forward. You're refusing a generous way out. Maya looked at his watch. Your archive crew came early. Your bride's family is buying a property with missing deed pages. And you're worried I'm making this difficult? Color rose in his face. You don't know anything about our business. She pointed to the guard. Take the tray. Check the cloth. Check the cuffs. Maya lifted her hands before he touched her. Careful, she said. The guard paused. Vivian stepped closer. Careful of what? Chain of custody. Bianca frowned. Adrian stopped moving. Vivian understood first. Her eyes moved from Maya's uniform to her face, calculation adjusting too late. Maya kept her voice low. You are ordering private security to search an employee you have just accused of theft, in a closed room, after presenting a pre-written statement. That may matter later. Vivian recovered quickly. You speak like someone who has been coached. Or like someone who reads what she signs. Vivian reached for Maya's left wrist herself. Maya stepped back. Just enough to bring all four of them closer to the security camera in the upper corner. A camera Vivian had forgotten because this room was for staff. Caleb's voice entered Maya's ear. I have West Prep video. Audio is weak, picture is clean. Maya let her right hand brush the tray cloth. 2 taps. Backup capture. Vivian saw the motion and changed tactics. All right, she said. Keep your little relics. Keep your pride, but you will not enter the East Wing again. You will remain in West Laundry until after the signing. If you approach my family rooms, I will have you removed for trespass. The signing is at 5. Vivian's smile returned. Yes. And by 5, the house will belong to people who do not owe you even the courtesy of employment. Maya picked up the unsigned statement. For a moment, Vivian thought she had won. Then Maya folded the paper neatly and placed it back on the table. You forgot to fill in the time. Vivian looked down. A small dot of ink marked the page beside the blank timestamp. The pen camera had captured the pre-written accusation before any investigation was complete. Maya turned toward the door. The guard looked to Vivian. Vivian did not tell him to stop her. Not with the camera above them. Not after the words chain of custody. In the hallway, Lena spoke immediately. Tell me you kept the key. Maya slid her thumb along the cuff. The brass edge was still there. I kept the key. And the statement? Photographed. Timestamp blank. Caleb added, West Prep video saved. Vivian ordered the search. Bianca present. Adrian present. Maya glanced toward the East Wing, where the bridal suite would be locked in minutes. Vivian had blocked the front path. That meant Maya would need another one. There's a service crawl behind the old linen chute, Maya said. My father used it when the house flooded in 2009. Lena was quiet for half a beat. Can you reach the bridal wall from there? Maya looked at the ceiling line she had known before Crosshaven existed. Yes, she said. If they still think I'm small enough to fit. 2 men in catering jackets carried coolers down the pier. That is not enough for seizure. I know. Maya slipped inside on her knees, pulling the panel back behind her. The crawl space smelled of wood, heat, and old salt. It was too tight to stand. She moved forward on her forearms, the brass key pressed under her cuff, the pen camera clipped inside her apron, the torn maintenance slip tucked flat against her ribs. Maya, Lena said. Status. In the west crawl, heading east. Repeat your objective. And if Vivian finds you, then cover is already gone. Daniel says the order can freeze the closing if we connect the active sale to a concealed defective title. Page 7 helps. The original trail helps more. I'm on the marina, Caleb said. Tender engine just started. They may leave before the ceremony. Maya stopped. If the tender left, Box A21 left with it. If the original trail disappeared, Vivian could call the duplicate incomplete, sentimental, planted, misunderstood. The photographs might slow the sale. They might not break it. Can you delay it? Maya asked. A pause. I can call in a marina safety inspection. Fuel leak report. It buys time if the harbor unit responds. Do it, Lena said. Caleb was already typing. Maya moved again. Ahead, a thin line of light cut across the darkness. The back of the bridal wall. She reached the old access pocket her father had shown her when she was small enough to fit beside him. There was a new metal plate over it. Vivian had sealed the obvious route. Maya touched the screws. Fresh. Philip's head. She did not have a screwdriver. Above her, the bridal suite floor creaked. Voices. Bianca, annoyed. Adrian. Lower. Vivian. Firm. We should postpone the document reception, Adrian said. No, Vivian replied. That is exactly how weak people lose leverage. Something is wrong with Maya. Everything has always been wrong with Maya. That does not make her dangerous. Maya let the words pass through her. Then Vivian added. Once the original leaves the property, she can waive all the childhood keys she wants. There it was. A direct link. The original was Box A21. Maya tapped the transmitter twice. Lena heard it. Captured. Bianca's voice came next. And the ring? We will find it when I decide we find it, Vivian said. Until then, she remains a thief in every guest's mind. Maya closed her eyes for one breath. Not from pain. From focus. The metal plate blocked the old access, but the crawl floor beneath it was wood. Older than the renovation. Older than Crosshaven. Maya slid the brass key from her cuff and used its edge against the softened seam near the base. Once. Twice. A sliver lifted. Not enough for a hand. Enough for the pen camera. She guided the camera through the crack. On the tiny wrist receiver, the bridal suite appeared in fragments. The base of the mirror, Vivian's white heels, Bianca's gown, Adrian's black shoes, and behind them, the lower mechanical compartment still slightly open. The wax paper envelope was inside. Still there. Duplicate confirmed. Maya whispered. Also recorded Vivian saying the original leaves the property. At the marina, Caleb broke in. Harbor unit just stopped the tender. Safety inspection. They are not happy. For the first time that day, Maya almost let herself smile. Almost. Because above her, Vivian's heels turned toward the wall. Did you hear that? Vivian asked. Maya pulled the pen camera back through the crack and went perfectly still in the dark. Vivian said, "Move the mirror." There, Vivian said. The lower panel. Adrian's voice came closer. Why is that still here? Because your grandfather was sentimental, your father was lazy, and contractors only replace what rich people point at. Bianca groaned. Is this about the old Ellison mess again? We have vows in 40 minutes. Vivian's answer came sharp. Your family is buying clean title. This is how it stays clean. Clean. Maya stored the word beside every dirty thing Vivian had done to create it. Adrian asked, is that the page? A duplicate, Vivian said. The original trail is leaving now. Vivian continued, if the maid saw anything, she saw a ghost. Ghosts do not stop closings. Bianca gave a cold little laugh. She looked like one when security searched her. Do not underestimate wounded people, Vivian said. They confuse pain with purpose. For the first time that day, Vivian said something true without knowing it. The compartment clicked shut. Vivian slid the envelope into a flat ivory box printed with Bianca's initials. What is that? Adrian asked. Emergency sewing kit, Vivian said. It goes to the signing reception with the dress bag. No one searches a bride's kit. Bianca turned. Excuse me? You wanted this property. Then you will carry one small piece of its history. Bianca looked irritated, not innocent. She took the ivory box and placed it in a larger garment case near the door. Mrs. Cross, a coordinator called. Final family portraits. We need the bride downstairs. Vivian answered. 2 minutes. Footsteps moved toward the door. Then stopped. Maya is not to enter this room again, Vivian told the guard outside. If she appears in the east wing, remove her. Maya stayed still until the door closed and the voices faded toward the staircase. Then she moved backward through the crawl space as fast as the narrow boards allowed. Every inch scraped her elbows. Her uniform caught twice on old nails. The brass key pressed into her skin hard enough to leave a mark. She reached the west storage panel, slipped out, and closed it behind her. Maya, Lena said, we have the audio. Vivian admitted duplicate and original trail. Daniel is updating the order. Not enough if she destroys the duplicate before the closing. You are not cleared to seize it. Maya answered before Lena could object. I'm not seizing it. I'm preserving it. Maya grabbed a garment steamer, a lint roller, and a clean white towel from the storage rack. I'm doing laundry. She moved through the service corridor toward the east wing, not by the main hall, but through the floral prep route. The ceremony had pulled staff downstairs. Timing opened and closed like doors. At the bridal suite entrance, the security guard blocked her. Mrs. Cross said you're not allowed. Maya lifted the steamer. Bianca's gown has dust on the lower train from the balcony portraits. If it photographs, she'll ask who refused touch-up. The guard hesitated. People were rarely brave against a bride's anger. 30 seconds, he said. Maya entered. The garment case stood near the vanity, zipped but not locked. The ivory sewing kit was inside the outer pocket, exactly where Bianca had placed it. Maya crossed to the dress train first. She ran the steamer for 2 seconds, creating the hiss the guard expected to hear. Then she angled her body between the mirror and the door. With the lint roller in her left hand, she opened the garment pocket with her right. The ivory box slid free. She did not remove the envelope. She photographed it inside the box, recorded the initials, the wax paper, and the edge of the page. Then she did something Vivian had not prepared for. She placed a tamper seal from her hidden evidence strip along the inside flap, where it would tear if opened again. A thin transparent line, almost invisible against ivory cardboard. Not seizure, preservation. She slid the box back exactly as it had been. The guard called, "Time." Maya zipped the pocket and stepped away with the steamer. As she turned, her eyes caught the balcony flowers. The diamond ring still hid in the white rose. A small lie waiting for its cue. Maya took one photograph. Then she left. In the corridor, Caleb spoke first. Harbor unit has the tender held for another 18 minutes. Daniel says the order is moving. Lena followed. Did you get the duplicate? No, Maya said. I marked it. If they open it, we will know. If they carry it to the signing table, it walks into our record. She looked down the stairs toward the ballroom, where guests were gathering for the ceremony. Above the music, she heard Vivian's voice greeting donors, polished and warm. Maya touched the brass key beneath her cuff. Let them bring it downstairs, she said. I want the lie on the table when it breaks. At 4:57 p.m., the ballroom was no longer dressed like a wedding. It was dressed like a sale. A long table stood beneath the staircase. On it were 3 leather folders, 2 silver pens, a crystal water pitcher, and Bianca's ivory sewing kit. Maya noticed the sewing kit first. Vivian had placed it beside the Hartwell acquisition documents as if it were bridal clutter. The transparent tamper seal Maya had set inside the flap was still unbroken. The duplicate was still there. Guests circled the room in soft clusters, invited to witness the private family signing after the ceremony. Hartwell executives stood near the front. Bianca smiled for photographs as if the ring on her finger had not spent the afternoon buried in a flower arrangement. Maya entered through the service side carrying a tray of clean glasses. Vivian saw her immediately. I thought I gave instructions, Vivian said. The nearest conversations thinned. Maya stopped beside the last row of chairs. I was told to serve the signing reception. Maya set the tray on a side table. Vivian continued, warmer now, more dangerous because of it. We found the missing ring. We chose not to involve police before the wedding, because this was meant to be a day of grace. But I will not allow a disgraced name to disturb a lawful transfer. A Hartwell attorney leaned toward the table. Mrs. Cross, is there a security issue? There is not, Vivian replied. Only a former employee who will be leaving. Maya stepped forward. Before I leave, she said, you may want to ask why the bride's sewing kit is sitting beside a property closing. Bianca's mouth tightened. Vivian's hand shifted toward the ivory box. Maya looked at the Hartwell attorney. Do not let her open it unless you want to explain why a sealed document envelope was altered after preservation notice. The attorney looked from Maya to Vivian. What preservation notice? Maya removed the service pen from her apron and placed it on the table. My name is Maya Ellison, she said, and I am working with the County Property Fraud Task Force. Vivian laughed once. Absurd. Maya tapped the pen. Play file 1. The small speaker activated. Bianca's voice came first. If she's so innocent, search the sleeves. Then Vivian. Maya will admit she mishandled personal property, return anything she removed from the bridal suite, and leave through staff entrance. Another clip followed. Caleb's extracted video on the tablet Maya slid onto the table. Bianca stood at the bridal vanity, took the ring from its box, crossed to the balcony flowers, and pushed the diamond into a white rose while Vivian watched from the doorway. Maya watched the signers. Your theft accusation was planted, she said. Your incident statement was drafted before any investigation. Your staff search was used to remove me from the East Wing before the archive transfer. Vivian's voice hardened. A domestic staff dispute has nothing to do with title. No, Maya said. That is why you created it. To make this look small. She opened the second file. A still image appeared. The white folder from Vivian's office. Archive crew arrival 4:30. Boxes a 17 through. A 24. Driver manifest to be replaced after loading. Then the dock feed. Movers carrying a cooler down the pier. Then audio from the crawl space. Vivian's own voice filled the ballroom. Once the original leaves the property, she can waive all the childhood keys she wants. The Hartwell attorney stood straighter. What original? He asked. Vivian turned on Maya. You recorded private conversations while pretending to work in my home. Daniel Park entered through the rear doors with Lena Ortiz and 2 uniformed officers behind him. Daniel held up a signed order. Pursuant to an active property fraud investigation, this site and all related title materials are now under emergency preservation. The Marina unit has secured the tender and Box A21 pending inventory. Vivian's face changed then. Not fear. The Hartwell attorney stepped away from the signing folder. No one signs anything. Vivian snapped. This is harassment. She is Thomas Ellison's daughter. She has spent her life trying to rewrite her father's crime. Maya reached into her apron and removed a printed copy of page 7. The image she had captured in the wall safe, now logged through Caleb's system. You are right about one thing, Maya said. This is about Thomas Ellison. She placed the page before the attorney. Ellison House Partnership Transfer Addendum. Page 7 of 14. No transfer was valid without signatures from both founding Ellison partners or a death-certified waiver filed before execution. Daniel placed a second page beside it. The public transfer file used to remove the Ellison family's controlling interest included Marion Ellison's signature dated 2 weeks after her death, he said. Vivian said, copies can be fabricated. Maya looked at the ivory sewing kit. Then let's preserve what you brought to your own closing table. Lena stepped forward, gloved, and opened the outer pocket while Daniel photographed the seal. The transparent strip tore as the flap opened, proving the box had remained closed since Maya marked it. Inside lay the wax paper envelope. TE private copy page 7 and related signatures. The attorney read the label aloud before he could stop himself. Bianca whispered, Vivian. Maya turned to the bride. You carried it here. Bianca's face drained of performance. You told me it was nothing, she said to Vivian. Maya cut in before the moment could become sympathy. You planted a ring to frame me, you knew enough. Bianca had no answer. Adrian pushed both hands through his hair. Mother, what did you do? Maya faced him next. You heard her say the Ellison file might still be in the archive. You asked about it in her office. Then you came here to sign anyway. His hand dropped. No clean exits. Vivian's voice lowered. Your father was failing. I built this place into what it is. Maya picked up the restored photograph print. Her father, her mother, and Vivian cross before the original Ellison House sign. Vivian wearing the same pearl bracelet Maya had seen that morning. My parents helped you when no bank would take your call, Maya said. My father gave you an office. My mother signed the first partnership check. And when you found a way to take what they built, you did not just steal a house. She placed the photograph beside page 7. You made their daughter clean it for you. The ballroom held that sentence because there was nowhere polite to put it down. Maya looked at the signing table, at the pens, at the sewing kit, at the white flowers still bending under their own weight. Closing is over, she said. Daniel nodded to the officers. Vivian stepped back as if the floor had betrayed her. But the floor was older than Vivian. So was the house. And this time, the truth had arrived before the signature. The first thing removed from the ballroom was not Vivian Cross. It was the signing pens. No one clapped. No one shouted. The wedding guests who had smiled when Maya knelt under the staircase now watched officers seal the acquisition documents beneath that same staircase. "This is a civil title dispute," she said. "A disgruntled employee cannot convert a family transaction into a criminal investigation." Daniel answered without raising his voice. "A forged signature, a concealed addendum, false accusation, and removal of records during closing can." Vivian turned to the Hartwell executives. "You know what this is. She is using her badge to settle a childhood wound." Lena Ortiz stepped beside Maya then, not in front of her. "Maya Ellison disclosed the conflict before assignment," Lena said. "Every recording, photograph, and transmission from today was logged through the task force. Chain of custody is intact." Bianca did not sit. She stood near the balcony doors, ring hand curled into a fist, while Caleb played the footage again for Daniel and the Hartwell attorney. There she was, on the bridal suite camera, removing her own ring and burying it inside the white rose. "Your family will be contacted separately," he said. The ring that had been used to call Maya a thief was removed from the flower arrangement with tweezers and placed into a small evidence bag. At 5:23 p.m., officers escorted Vivian from the ballroom for formal questioning. She walked past Maya without lowering her chin. "You will never own this place the way I did," Vivian said. Maya looked at her, still in the gray uniform, still holding the empty service tray. "I don't want to own it the way you did." For the first time that day, Vivian had no polished answer. Adrian was not handcuffed. Not then. But his phone, laptop, and access credentials were taken under the preservation order. His signature appeared on draft closing approvals after the dispute notice. His silence had paperwork now. Bianca's father withdrew Hartwell Capital from the acquisition before the press statement was finished. It was too late to look clean. The task force had already linked Hartwell Council to 3 other disputed coastal properties, and the words internal review sounded weak when placed beside seized records and dock footage. Staff were asked to remain available for interviews. Some looked frightened. Some looked relieved. A housekeeper Maya had worked beside for 3 weeks took off her apron in the laundry room and pressed both hands over her face. "I thought they were going to make you disappear like the others," she whispered. Maya turned to her. "What others?" The woman looked toward the hallway, then back at Maya. "People who asked about old files. A night manager. A maintenance man. Someone named Vale. Val. The technician from the slip. The name on the back of page 7. Maya felt the case shift again, not larger this time, deeper. She did not chase the lead that second. She wrote it down, took the woman's name, and called Lena. That was the difference between revenge and evidence. Revenge rushed because pain wanted an ending. Evidence waited long enough to survive. 2 days later, Thomas Ellison's criminal file was formally reopened for review. No judge cleared his name in a dramatic sentence. Maya was grateful for that. Her father had been destroyed by papers arranged to tell a lie, and she wanted every page found, every signature tested, every person who had profited from it forced to answer in order. Crosshaven Resort entered receivership while the title dispute was reviewed. Vivian Cross resigned from the board of her own holding company before the board could remove her. Adrian was suspended from all executive authority pending investigation. Bianca Hartwell's wedding portraits were never released, but the footage of her ring in the white rose became part of the fraud case. 3 months later, Maya Ellison returned to Crosshaven before sunrise. The gate still carried the Crosshaven name, but for the first time in 15 years, no crossguard stood there deciding who belonged. Maya walked past the spot where Vivian had made her kneel. She did not stop there. In the temporary case office, Lena Ortiz labeled evidence boxes. Caleb sat by the window, restoring archive scans. On the wall, Daniel had pinned page 7 beside the photograph of Thomas and Marian Ellison standing in front of the original house sign. The photograph had been repaired. The tear was still visible if someone looked closely, but Maya preferred it that way. Some damage deserved to be remembered honestly. Beside the photograph hung a narrow glass frame. Inside it was the gray maid's uniform. Cleaned, pressed, empty. Lena noticed Maya looking at it. "You sure you want that in here?" she asked. Maya stepped closer. The uniform looked smaller behind glass than it had felt on her body. Vivian had chosen it to reduce her. Bianca had laughed at it. Guests had looked past it, but inside that cuff, Maya had carried a microphone, a brass key, and the patience her father had left her. "Yes," Maya said. Caleb turned from his laptop. "Why?" Maya looked from the uniform to page 7, then to the photograph of her parents. "Because I found the truth in the clothes they used to shame me." No one answered. They did not need to. Outside the window, morning light touched the old gate. For now, the metals still read Crosshaven. But beneath the temporary cover, waiting for the court to finish with the truth, the original letters had been found. Ellison House.